Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to The Natural Cook. I'm Anna Gershenson. Today we are going to be making pancakes. And they are not going to be the pancakes that you are used to. They are going to be very different kinds of pancakes. So I hope that you follow what I'm doing today and then cook them at home. I'm sure you will love them. So the two different pancakes came from two different cookbooks. One is from Adina Sussman's Sababa, the cookbook that just came out and is making a lot of splash. Everybody loves the recipes there. They are so delicious and inspired by the shuk, which is a market in Israel, in Tel Aviv, where she lives very close by and spends every day, and all the flavors and spices and everything comes into those recipes. However, in this recipe, you won't find these spices, but you will find things that you are used to. So broccoli and cottage cheese and dill, as well as chives. But we are going to start with another pancake recipe that came from a book of Jose Andres. It's called Vegetables Unleashed. So it's all about vegetables. So he was inspired by the recipe of Irma Banbauer, Joy of Cooking, that many of you must know. And now I know that they are preparing for a new release of this cookbook, another edition. So he just used her recipe for pancakes and added corn kernels. I'm taking advantage of the corn still being in season. And I'm using it to show you what you can do with this corn, because I know everybody loves corn. So I measured here a cup of finely ground cornmeal, and we will add to it a cup of boiling water. So I want to make sure that this water is boiling. And yes, and then we are going to also add a teaspoon of kosher salt. If you're using Diamond, then it's a teaspoon. If you are using Morton's, then only half a teaspoon, because it's just that much saltier. And then you are going to also add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, which I already pre-melted. So after the cornmeal and water are mixed, you are going to cover them and let them sit for 10 minutes. So while it's sitting and getting kind of a little cooked in this hot boiling water, we are going to proceed with the other things. So make sure to have a whisk, because cornmeal needs to be whisked together with water to get incorporated. All right. And we are going to add our melted butter. See, it's already thickening, and it looks so beautiful, so nice and yellow. Make sure that the cornmeal is finely ground, because that will affect the texture of your final product. Okay, so let's mix them again vigorously. Okay, make sure everything is incorporated. All right. Okay, and it smells so good already. Okay, so now we don't need this pot, but we will need our skillet. So now we are going to take the corn, already remove the husks and the silk. And what you will do, this is something that is very convenient, to use a bowl to remove the kernels, because if you don't, they will be flying all over the place, and I'm sure you want to avoid that. So let's just use the sewing motion to get the kernels off the cob. Okay. And you need about 1.5 cups of kernels for this recipe. And it's about probably 3 medium pieces of corn, ears of corn. And also, you will want a little more, because when you are going to be serving them, if you choose so, in the recipe, that's what Jose Andres is doing. He is sprinkling more corn on top when he's serving his pancakes. So we will use 1.5 cups for the batter, and then we will save a little bit to put on top. All right. So as you can see, if you do it slowly and methodically, and if you have a really nice knife, sharp knife, then your job is really easy. Okay. All right. So after your cornmeal mixture is ready, then you will be adding just the corn kernels to it, folding it in, and also milk and eggs, of course. What would be a pancake without milk and eggs, right? Okay, so we have all of that done. We can put it away. And now our kernels are ready as well and waiting for us. And we will grab another bowl. And so we will whisk 1 large egg, okay, together with 1 cup of milk. Okay. So this is ready. And here we also have our, actually this I think is 1/2 cup of milk. I will post it on Facebook so that you can make this pancake. This is 1/2 cup of unbleached all-purpose flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we will also combine them and whisk them together. And they will then be going into this mix. So we're still waiting for this to be ready. And while we're waiting, we will start prepping the other pancake. So the other pancake is, everything is measured here. The ingredients that go into it are, again, eggs and cottage cheese and flour. And so what we'll do, we'll chop the broccoli. So you just want to get the broccoli florets, and you will need 1.5 cups of broccoli. So 1.5 cups is a popular number today. All right. And this is about 1 medium head of broccoli. That's what you need. So first, in order to chop it, first I will just cut it like that thinly, because you want it pretty fine. The pancakes are not going to be on the skillet for a long time, and so you want to make sure that the broccoli gets cooked there as well. So after you slice it thinly, okay, I'm just looking at the quantity about how much I have here. This is about 1 cup. And of course, you're always happy to incorporate healthy vegetables into your meals, and both of them are very healthy vegetables. Okay. All right. This looks pretty much like 1.5 cups. Okay. All right. So now I just spread them like that and go and chop. Okay. So when you have a sharp knife and also a knife that has some length, you know, in this case, the longer the knife, the more you can get under the knife, and you have your chopped broccoli. Okay. So in this recipe, it's very easy to put this batter together because it's not even going to be very thin. What you need to do is just combine everything, that's all. Okay, so let me grab another bowl, and I will take the eggs and crack them into the bowl. 2 large eggs, preferably organic and pasture raised. And of course, you can get these eggs at the farmer's market that I always recommend to use. Okay, and we will take the whisk them together. All right, and now I'll start warming up my skillet. Okay, so we're going to add a cup of cottage cheese, okay, and half teaspoon freshly ground black pepper, teaspoon kosher salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/4 cup of flour. And then 2 tablespoons of chopped chives and chopped dill. Everything goes in there. Okay. All right. And then we add our broccoli, and our mix is ready, and then we are ready to roll with it, just to fry. So this is really simple, right? And very, very fast. Okay. So we will be frying these pancakes on olive oil, and we'll be frying the corn pancakes on avocado oil. All right, so let me move this away. Okay, and I don't really need this anymore. Right. Okay, so while this is heating up, we will now make our batter for these guys. So let's add our milk and egg mixture. All right. Make sure that it's thoroughly mixed together. And then you can either fold kernels into this batter, or you can reverse, which I'm going to do. It's because I have a bigger bowl here, it's going to be really cumbersome for me to try to combine them in this little bowl. Okay, so we have a lot of batter here, so whoever is going to be eating these pancakes is going to have a lot. All right. So now folding them in. And then the final step is just adding the flour with the baking powder. And don't overmix here. Just fold it until you don't see flour anymore. Okay. Looks good. So now we'll start cooking. So let's put our olive oil, about a tablespoon. Make sure that it coats the pan. And when you use good olive oil, you can smell it right away when it's heating up. Okay, and here we will use about 3 tablespoons for each pancake. So this measure is about 3 tablespoons. So we will take it, and you want to make sure that your skillet is really heated up nicely, but not too hot. Okay, and when I hear the sound, and I don't know if you hear it, then it means that our skillet is hot enough. Okay. All right. Just flatten it a bit. Okay. It looks like we can place about 4 pancakes. Make sure not to overcrowd them. And they will fry about a couple of minutes on one side, and then you'll flip them over. Okay. All right. Of course, at home, you won't be probably making 2 pancakes at once, but if you do, then it's a good idea when you have a stove and you have more burners, you can do them parallel. You can prepare 2 batters if you are making like a pancake breakfast. And then you will fry them on 2 separate pans, and then you serve 2 different pancakes, and you are going to have like a pancake extravaganza for brunch. All right, so let's see. This is beginning to darken. I'm using a ceramic coated pan, and ceramic coated pan usually you have to watch because it burns easily. So you want to make sure that your pancakes are not burning. You can shift them a little bit. At the same time, you want to also assure that they are cooking sufficiently. Okay. All right. Okay. So I don't know whether besides conventional pancakes that you usually make, like for example, I can give you an idea. Here you were folding corn into the pancakes and using cornmeal, but because we have fall season and now there are apples in the orchards and we have a lot of beautiful local apples, so what you can do is you can actually make a regular batter for pancakes. Use your favorite recipe, and then you can slice the apples and you can fold them into your batter, and then you'll have apple pancakes. Or you can do the same thing with plums, or if you have extra bananas, of course. We're not talking now about seasonal cooking, but that will be delicious too. I know that usually there are recipes of pancakes with blueberries, and you know all of those. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I can already start flipping this one. Okay. Let me increase the heat a little bit to speed them up so that we have time to cook our corn pancakes and also sample these to see how they taste. Okay. All right. I cleaned off my spatula because there was some of the pancakes stuck to it, and I want to make sure that I can flip it comfortably. All right. Okay. All right. And the last one. Okay, we'll add a little bit of more oil. It smells really good. Now that they are cooking, you can smell the dill. Broccoli, of course, doesn't have any particular smell, but these wonderful herbs have a great aroma, and I can smell it. Okay, so once these are ready, and on the other side, they really don't have to cook that long, we will go over to the corn pancakes. We will just move them to this plate. Okay, yeah, they look great. We'll move them to this plate. And then I'll wipe my skillet. Okay. Okay. And avocado oil. And 1/4 cup for each pancake. All right, I don't want to crowd them. When they are not crowded, they cook faster and more evenly. Okay, so these pancakes can be served with sour cream, or if you prefer, you can serve them with yogurt. I will put some sour cream there. All right. Okay. So. All right, and then you can take some more of the dill and just sprinkle it on top, and it will look really, really pretty. When you are cooking these pancakes, you really need to watch for bubbles, just like on your conventional pancakes. When you see that bubbles are appearing, then it's a good sign that they are ready to be flipped. Okay. See what a difference some decoration makes? Of course, it's also delicious and nutritious, but it changed the way this plate looks immediately. Okay. So now let's see what's happening with these pancakes. All right. They look really good. Okay. Okay. So about a minute on this side, and then you will see how they will look. Okay, so you can add just a little more oil. I can smell the corn flour, you know. I love corn flour. Of course, you can make wonderful cornbread using cornmeal. Cornmeal is really delicious and has very, very nice texture. Okay, now let's see. That's what I'm going to do today. I will be going home and making cornbread. Okay, so let's put these on a plate. Okay, remove this here. And we will, well, I guess I used all the kernels there, so I didn't leave any to sprinkle. But remember, you can do that or you don't have to. And then you can also use it with avocado or salsa or mango salsa. Sprinkle a little bit of finishing salt. And our pancakes are ready. So thank you for joining us, and cook the pancakes.
Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.